Food insecurity, water shortage, water contamination, less democracy. Democracy is declining because it's such a need for a strong action, and especially in North America. The greatest declines in democracy are occurring right here in our own country. Anybody who was in Toronto 6-7 months ago would certainly know that. And we're also developing what I would call virtual wars. We don't just fight on the fields. We have war on terror. We have war on drugs. We have war on privacy. We have war on dissent. Even war on new developing nations. There's something wrong with them. China is looked at that way too. They're just growing too well. Canada, we guaranteed military spending. We have not guaranteed environmental spending. We've become, in my opinion, a security state. The G20 showed that. And we also are proud, or at least the Harper government is, that we've become a resource superpower. We have the energy for those who need it. What do they need it for? Often the military. So, that's pretty negative stuff, eh? Okay, let's get positive for a while, okay? Let's try a solution here. I think we have to really try to solve our needs. And I'd like to hear from you throughout this evening is how we can do that. We have to look after our needs, not our wants. There has to be a lot more cooperation, where we look to other people not as rivals, but as allies and friends. This may sound easy, but we have to do that. We have to tolerate people better. There has to be a certain unity, and rather than just overpowering, using your military. We have to share scarce resources. We have to get all domestic sectors in the country, let's start with Canada, contributing. We have to get the people from the arts. We have to get all the media involved, small industry, entrepreneurs, all people interested in localization. All these things have to occur. Any new, safe, technological, or any kind of inventions like that would be terrific, but it cannot be directed at the military. And renewable energy. We must push for renewable energy. Then we don't need the oil that's causing all these wars. And we have to get rid of some of the roadblocks that are being set up regarding renewable energy. There's a resistance to it, certainly in our country. So all these things, these solutions should be to combat climate change and get rid of our military preoccupation. So, in conclusion, to try to forestall climate change, we have to end the wars. And we have to reduce the military spending that's incredible, and the fossil fuel use that goes right with us. So how do we do that? Our OPIRG friends have told you how to do that. They had a whole week designed for this. We need peace. We must strive for peace. And without that, this situation is going to go on forever. So this should be a bit of a backdrop for what we can do. I can give about 5 minutes now if people want to ask some questions or add some points that you might have. And then we're going to get into discussion groups. We'll decide. We get a pretty good number here. We could probably form about 3 groups.
Could you say more about what I heard you say that may not be what you said?
Okay.
About our Canadian government is deliberately declining revenue. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay. And
tax revenue.
Could you say more about that?
Okay. Well, right off the bat, they cut off 2% from the sales tax. And according to conservative economics, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. They've cut income tax, particularly for the rich. They still have the corporate taxes on the go there.
Right.
So all this money is not coming. Even harmonizing the sales tax with BC and Ontario is costing them $2.4 billion a shot. So the revenue is declining.
Why?
Well, my opinion, they would like to reduce the role of government, period. To keep it out of areas like social spending and stuff like that, those kind of services that people want. But, as I said earlier, military spending has increased. Prisons will increase. Everything to do with security state. This is my view. But I think there are a lot of people who agree with me. So to me, it's deliberate on their part. Does that help?
Yeah, it still doesn't, I'm very puzzled about it.
Well,
because you would
I'm
think
angry
they
about
would
it.
increase the revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think they're reducing taxes to get votes, to get elected, to be popular.
Yep.
They're campaigning, well, we'll reduce your taxes, we're great. People fall for it.
This particular government hates taxes. It's got all those people from the Harris days with prime job, they hate taxes, they absolutely hate it. So they'll reduce it. But they still have to spend money on prisons, military,
Yeah.
themselves, that type of thing, yeah. And they definitely are increasing the defense budget at a time when we're not doing very well. Well, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to comment with regard to that. I agree, and I feel like that's something that goes with that is the propaganda and the sort of support that people have. At the same time, the middle class has been seeing like a tighter squeeze, so it makes sense that they want to be saving money, but rather than wanting to save money by spending less on taxes, I don't know, they should. I think it's really important to raise awareness about that, in particular taxes and like what taxes go to, right?
Yeah, yeah, priorities.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand how taxes work. Like, especially if they're kind of saying, yeah, no taxes. Like, do you really, like, that's how we get roads and the waters and, like, the school systems and the libraries and, like, that comes out of the taxes. I don't think people understand that.
Healthcare.
Healthcare, yeah.
Could devote an entire campaign.
We got a situation in Peterborough, for example, which is reducing the property tax rate. And one of the ways is to cut transit. Transit.
Which is for low-income people, not the rich.
Yeah, Rosemary.
For me, one of the most threatening things is the corporate control of media. I think Canadians could struggle and figure out things if they get lots of solid information.
Yep. Maybe that's one of our actions, eh?
What's really frightening to me is the rise of Fox News North under Quebecor and Sun Media, and the Harper government support of this, Pierre Carl Pelado. I talked to a reporter yesterday, and she said, if Fox News is journalism, then I'm a ballerina.
Okay.
And so, I do believe in the ordinary person, as Rick Mercer says, the oyster fisherman. That's who we'd rather talk to than any politician. I believe in the ability to figure out some of these big issues, but without information, objective information. Well, I remember being in Haiti once, and I said, you know, I said, do you have a newspaper? And the cab driver didn't know. He didn't know if there was a newspaper. And I thought, that's deprivation. When you don't know, you can't find out information or opinion from anywhere. And so, but Canadian media is getting concentrated in the hands of corporations.
I know we're not in the action part of the evening, but this would be a good moment to mention the rally next Thursday at 11 or 11:30 in front of the library, just to keep the CBC.
Those are the things that are in danger. If revenue declines, and yet we have to have military spending, prison spending, stuff like that. Okay, it's time for discussion. Go ahead, sir.
I got one article that says that there are 6,000 Canadians who earn over $80,000 a year who pay no taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are reasons for that, and it's global. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that awful? Some people don't even believe that.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.